1776. The British Empire dominates North America. After years of discontent, the 13 American colonies emerge united in open revolt against the Crown. They have chosen George Washington as their commander-in-chief, asking him to defend their cities and towns against the greatest military power on earth. But Washington has an amateur army and no navy, while Britannia rules the waves. In Boston, birthplace of the rebellion, patriots watch helplessly as British ships blockade the harbor and General William Howe takes control of the city. Howe has such contempt for the American army, he does not bother occupying the strategic high ground south of the city. Instead, his army tears up houses, barns, and even demolishes the Old North Church for firewood, while his officers seize the finest mansions for drinking, dancing, and entertaining. Howe's behavior infuriates George Washington, who once served in the British Army and knows well the English sense of superiority. Washington decides to turn that arrogance to his own advantage. Using captured British cannon, he sets in motion an elaborate plan. And on the night of March 4th, under a full moon, Washington opens fire on British positions. British guns fire back in anger, but the American barrage is merely a diversion. Across the harbor, a large rebel force is sneaking onto the high ground at Dorchester Heights, hauling dozens of cannons and heavy supply wagons. Washington's army labors furiously, while artillery officer Henry Knox keeps the British distracted with an all-night barrage. By early morning, the guns fall silent, and Boston finally goes to sleep. Washington and his ragtag army wait quietly for the mighty British to discover their predicament. At sunrise, Howe's lookouts survey the horizon. Their telescopes reveal an astonishing sight. The Americans have built a fort literally overnight. Earthworks are in place atop Dorchester Heights, and siege guns frown down on the harbor, threatening the British fleet. A stunned General Howe realizes he has been outmaneuvered. Washington savors his position from the high ground, where he now commands the harbor. He as much as dares the British to dislodge him. General Howe declines. When a ferocious winter storm churns up the harbor, Howe scraps his counterattack plans and decides to abandon Boston altogether. Washington attributes his victory to divine providence. General Washington has vanquished the British. He becomes an American hero, inspiring members of Congress to commission a medal and fortifying their resolve to draft and sign the Declaration of Independence. Before the ink is even dry, however, the colonies suffer the largest invasion ever mounted by the Crown. The British have never lost a war. They are not about to lose America. 300 ships sail into New York Harbor. 30,000 troops, more than the population of our largest city. "We shall give these scoundrels a hearty thrashing," a British officer promises, "and put an end to this business." Washington's raw troops fight valiantly, but they are no match for British regulars who flog the rebels in Brooklyn, Manhattan,